All right, welcome everybody. So happy that you took time out of your very busy schedule to be here with us. I'd like to also introduce you to my co-host and good friend Attila Hevesi and the man of the hour, the genius. I would say if you mixed him with Einstein and Warren Buffett, you'd
And
end up
Marilyn Monroe.
and Marilyn Monroe and Cary Grant. Yes, you have similarities. But all kidding aside, we're so grateful for you being here. Um, Strap your seatbelts on, shoulder harness, make sure it's fully operational. We're going to show you some things for those that have joined us before. Thank you so much for being fans and coming back and supporting. And you're in for a ride. So I'm going to give you an expectation slide and some things to think about. Excuse me. And then we'll get busy. Here we go. All right. Can you gentlemen see my slide?
Yep.
Okay. Expectations for the day. Going to give you about a 45-minute overview and live presentation. You're going to see some live trades. Mr. Barsano is very transparent about sharing his systems live, not Memorex for old enough, if you're old enough to know what that is. About, excuse me, another 45 minutes to an hour of Q&A. Good time for us to mention that we're going to leave the chat open. You guys can talk amongst yourselves. All of us will jump in and give you some feedback along the way. But if you have questions as we prepare to go into the Q&A section, you're going to have questions probably from the beginning. Don't hesitate to put your questions. Don't wait. Get them into the Q&A. You'll find that when we get through the presentation that most of the questions and topics have been addressed. But if not, we're there. These are in memoriam, so as in this is being recorded. Everybody that's here and everybody that registered that for some reason couldn't make it with us, everybody's going to get a recording or a replay of this, including the notes. If you have any questions, just ask. We're also going to provide some support emails if you have some follow-on questions. This is fully transparent. As Mr. Barsano, you'll hear him say later, this is not a black box. We're here to educate you about the possibilities, not to force you into anything, not to coerce you. Simply, when you see what we have to teach you, you'll leave a rabid fan. So you'll get a chance to meet the creator. I'll point to him, Mr. Barsano, true genius who has created the autonomous. Literally, you'll hear it 100 times today. 100% set it and forget it. Autonomous crypto trader with money management enhanced by AI agents that literally does not exist anywhere else. You'll get a chance to see what I think I can take credit for calling the $1 billion report. We won't give too much away, but when you see it, you'll get it. You'll get a chance to see, as I mentioned, a live trader. You'll get to understand exactly what making money while you sleep 24/7, 360, I'll say 365, but every 4 years, it doesn't take that day off either. So 366. You get a better understanding of why there's nothing like GoBabyTrade or GBT for short anywhere else in the world. And you'll scratch your head through it when we share some of the things. You'll go, oh, hold on a second. My mom told me this is too good to be true. If it looks too good to be true, it is. Well, it is, except for this. You can make your own decision. You don't need any skills. You don't need to understand the crypto market. No blockchain skills, no knowledge necessary at all. It's simply a connect and let it go. Of course, we're here. You join our community and family. We will continue to educate you. Knowledge is power, and power is profit. So you'll understand how to easily automate a portion or as much of your financial life as you want to. Scratch your head if it sounds too good to be true, but pay attention because it absolutely is true. Little disclaimer down the bottom, kind of already mentioned it, is this presentation's for educational purposes only, and information purposes only, I'm sorry. And by no means is it construed. Anything that we share today is construed or intended to be legal, financial, or tax advice, nor do we provide any guarantees or return of performance. We're going to show you what it's done, but we can't predict the future. And as I always say, Mr. Barsano will give you marital advice if necessary, but tighten your seatbelt. Thank you again for joining us. I'll turn it over to my good friend, Mr. Hevesy, and away we go.
Thank you, Edward. I appreciate that. So, folks, thank you for being here. And you made a good choice. It's the middle of the week. You could be anywhere, but you're here. And that's good because there's nothing like this out there, like Edward said. And we are in a digital money revolution. So we're not saying this should be the end all be all, but it should definitely be something you consider being a integral part of your overall portfolio or plan moving forward as far as how the different ways to make money or help your money make money in this digital money revolution. And you know, the train's left the station. A little bit about me. I've been in the world of finance most of my life, and I definitely missed the internet revolution. It went right over my head. A lot of multimillionaires were made back then, but a lot of people were like, what's that? What's that? What's that? And they woke up one morning and said, what happened? And that was kind of me. Well, I promised myself when I saw this in 2017, and I got serious about learning and studying and knowing as much as I could about it in 2020, almost 5 years now. I said, there's no way I'm going to miss this digital money revolution. The train has already left the station. There's no turning back. Even then, I saw that it left the station. Um, a lot of people had their doubts. There's no doubt anymore. When you get a company like BlackRock that manages $11 trillion of people's money annually, and they start they along with 11 other major other financial companies jump in and get a Bitcoin ETF approved January 10th, 2024. That's serious news. That means the big boys are watching, and the big boys never miss out on trillions of dollars. They never miss. Okay, so believe me, there's no bigger boy out there, whether you like him or not, than BlackRock, and BlackRock is all in. Trust me on that. So, moving forward, what happened to me was, you know, sometimes it's better to be in the right place at the right time, and it's better to be lucky than good. And I was in the right place at the right time in 2012 when I met our special guest, Ed Barsano. Somebody introduced us, and Ed's background is such that after he got out of the Navy, he learned how to program in the Navy, but then after that, he was able to get actually hired as one of the first 300 programmers for Microsoft Corporation. And folks, this was in the mid 80s when Microsoft was going vertical. I mean, they were going bonkers. And he told me some interesting stories about that. But if you want to talk to him for about 5 hours, just ask him, how were your days at Microsoft? Right, Ed? So anyway, the bottom line is this. He became a master programmer. His reputation was strong there. He was kind of a rock star. He doesn't like it when I call him that, but he retired young, 39, worked there for 9 years, and then he got into the stock market and trading and learning. And then in 2000, with the stock market crash, he got his butt kicked. I mean, he lost a lot of money. And he said, you know, they picked on the wrong guy. I'm bored and I've got a lot of time on my hands and I have, you know, a lot of programming experience. I'm going to level the play. Listen carefully. He said, I'm going to level the playing field where the average person now, not just the wealthy or the accredited investors, but the average person can make money in the stock market because it's obviously rigged against the average person. So he created in the year 2000, the world's first fully robotic autonomous stock market trader. It turned itself on in the morning, about 30 minutes before the market opened, and then traded for you all day long. Now, obviously, you had to initially you had to download the software, which took about 60 to 90 minutes. It was a little bit tedious back then. I would call it cumbersome. So, but after that, it turned itself on. It made money for you all day, and it turned itself off when the market closed at 4 p.m. It was remarkable. That's remarkable today. Imagine how remarkable it was 25 years ago. And nobody had ever done this up to this point for the average person. Obviously, the big boys on Wall Street were doing it already institutionally, but not the average person. So I was introduced to Ed in 2012. I bought the trader. I loved the trader. And I hooked up with a marketing company that had affiliated themselves with Ed, and we helped market that robotic stock trader back then. And they sold $16 million worth of licenses in just 2 years, which is a massive number. Okay. And, but partnerships are tough. So Ed saw the writing on the wall and he said, you know what, I'm going to go back to being solo. Too many hassles here, too much babysitting. So what happened was in 2019, he actually sold the concept that he created in 2000. He sold that to a hedge fund that had previously purchased many, many licenses from him. And then a couple of years went by and one of his old robotic stock trader clients put a bug in his ear. Hey, Ed, why don't you create a trader for the crypto market? And before he sold out, he was just too busy to listen to the logic of that. But eventually he did listen and he rolled it out and he created from scratch the robotic stock market. I'm sorry, the robotic autonomous crypto trader with AI in April of 2021. So this is where the story kind of shifts a little bit because about 15, 16 months ago, I had a little bit of a rough day at the office and I'm thinking, I got a great crypto portfolio, but I'm a cash flow guy. My parents always said cash is king. I disagree. I think that's out the window. That's been replaced with cash flow is king. Because if you have enough cash flow at the end of the month, life is good for you and your family. If there's not enough cash flow at the end of the month for you to utilize, then life is not so good for you and your family. So cash flow is very important to me and many others. So I was thinking, how do I just keep my crypto that I have in stable coins that I'm not trading? How do I just have that keep making money on itself? Because the bottom line is, Warren Buffett said it best. He said, look, if you're not making money while you sleep, you're going to work till you die. And I've heard that so many times. I'm like, I want my money making money while I sleep 24/7. So it took me about a day, but I remembered my friend Ed Barsano, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'll bet somewhere in the last 3 to 5 years, Ed developed a robotic trader for crypto. So I still had his phone number in my phone. I had his number in my phone. I tracked him down. We spoke for 3 hours. And guess what? He confirmed my hunch. He said, yeah, in April of 2021, I did launch. I started from scratch. I developed it from scratch, obviously using a lot of the data and a lot of the things I learned from the stock trader. But he said, Attila, I'll never forget these words. He says, this is light years ahead of the stock trader. And he said, here's 4 reasons why. And listen carefully, folks, because this is the nitty gritty. Number one, the stock market trades 5 days a week, 6 hours a day, compared to the crypto market trading 24/7, 365. I'm like, yeah, that's a great point. Number two, he said, we need a lot of volatility. Anybody that wants to make money in trading, they must have that volatility. And he says, Attila, there's no asset class in the world with more volatility than crypto. And I said, right again. That's absolutely right. It's up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Just look at the markets today versus where we were a week ago, okay, or 4 days ago. Shoot, 2 days ago. And then the third thing he said was, and this one I loved, he said, it's not downloadable software anymore. I made it web-based. I could have you trading live in 10 minutes. And I said, okay, let's go. I bought the license on the spot. And in less than 10 minutes, my GoBabyTrade was trading live with just under $10,000 of USDC. So that really knocked my socks off because I remember 2012, and that was a pain in the butt to download that and set the settings right, kind of optimize it. But really, folks, number 4 is the one that really just was like it cemented everything in my mind. And that was this. He said, Attila, I created an API connection. That API connection ensures that this trader is connected to your own Coinbase account or your own Kraken account so that you control your money. 100% of the time, not a third party. And the reason this hit me so hard in a good way was because I hate to admit this, folks, but in the last 4.5 years plus, I've lost over $100,000 in 5 different blockchain crypto cash flow projects that didn't work out. Obviously, I've made more than that. And going in, I knew I would lose some money. I was a guinea pig. It was, it's a new nascent space. You're going to lose some money, but I didn't think it would be that much. That hurts. So knowing that my money is not sitting at a third party wallet, it's on my own exchange and nobody else could touch that but me, that told me, oh my gosh, Ed, you've got a tiger by the tail here. So I said, let me help you market this. Because Ed self-admittedly is not a sales and marketing guy. Okay. That's my forte for the last 30 plus years. Same with Edward. Okay. So we teamed up and that's why you're all here. And then we had several great conversations over 4 or 5 months with Crypto Casey when she found out about it. She bought the trader unbeknownst to us, not through us. She just bought it on her own and tested it for 3 months before she ever even thought about making her subscriber base and her listeners, people that watch her YouTube channel, know about it. Okay, so that was pretty cool. She wants to be 1,000% sure before she lays anything out there to the public. Actually, to the private members, not the public. But anyway, so with that, we wanted to invite you on today, Ed, because we have a lot of questions that are always repeated. The most common questions we hear over and over and over, and there's nobody better to answer those than you. So thanks again for being here today.
Thank you. It's always a blast being here. Do you
Yeah.
mind if I answer a couple questions based on your commentary there?
No, I don't mind at
Just a
all. Go ahead.
couple. People ask, why $2 million max? How come the auto trader is limited to $2 million for an account? And the answer to that is because I didn't create this for the multimillionaires. I created this for the everyday people. You'd be surprised how many people are trading with $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, all the way up to $2 million. And, and most people don't have $2 million, okay? Only I can count on one hand how many people have $2 million. I didn't release this for the wealthy. I created this for everyday people. When I created the market, when I set out to automate the market, it wasn't I'm going to conquer the market because I didn't know anything about the market. When I created the stock trader back in 2000, I got hammered in the 2000 crash. Why did I lose 60%? Because I didn't know anything about the market. And, I was in all the tech stocks in the 90s and they were all just going straight up. I didn't have to know anything until the day of the crash. Then it would have been wise to know stuff. you know. So, but after the market crash, we all started working together. We, the people, we all started getting together and the people started educating me. You guys, a lot of you that are probably on here right now, were educating me. It was a give and take, learning. I was learning what they were doing so I could, I could automate it. And I did that I've been doing that for 25 years. So we work together to conquer the market. This isn't just Ed Barsano is here to conquer the market for himself. So when people ask, if this is real, why would he share it? What are you talking about? I've been sharing it from day one. And if I didn't share it, I wouldn't know anything because of what did I learn? I learned from everyone. We all shared. And that's why the Auto Trader is so great. The other thing is, that was number one I checked off. Number two is Rugpool. We always hear about this Rugpool. I've been hearing from so many people after they sign up, they share their horror stories about they were investing in some other tech company and then they got a rug pool. And I didn't know what they meant by a rug pool. I'm like, what's a rug pool? And they're like, well, that's where we put all our money in there and then they pull the rug out from under us and they just steal all our money. And I'm like, wow, that's interesting. And you know what my interpretation of a rug pool is for this system? You put a bunch of money in here. You tell the auto trader, I'm on a trade with like $50,000, and the software starts trading with that 50,000, and then you pull 50,000 out and go and buy XRP or something with it. You just took all the money that the auto trader needed to trade. So you pulled a rug pull on the auto trader because all of a sudden it doesn't, where did all the money go that it thought it had, that it was working with? You know, so that to me is what I call a rug pull. And
Yeah.
you know, so you're not going to get a rug pull from the auto trader, but I'm just asking everyone else, when you put money in, don't pull a rug pull on the auto trader, because it's obviously it's the same thing. You know, if I was going to create an example of that, it's like you wouldn't go to the store and leave your wallet at home and then put all those groceries in the cart because you don't have any money to pay with it. You know, that's what I call a rug pull. It would be the same thing, you know. The auto
Yeah.
trader is thinking it has all this money to work with, and then you pull the rug out from under it, you know, because the auto trader is planning for, excuse me, while I use my trusty smart water bottle.
This segment sponsored by.
This segment sponsored by Smart Water. You know, if the auto trader is reserving money so that it can trade no matter where the price goes, up and down. So this is the top where you went in, and it's reserving money so that it could trade in perpetuity, no matter where the price goes, right? But if you
Mhm.
pull all of the money out all of a sudden, then the auto trader thought it had enough money to trade all the way down here, but you pulled all the money away, so it doesn't have any money now to trade anymore at all. So I'll get a call and say, hey, Ed, how come my auto trader's not trading? And I'll look at the account and I'll say, you took $40,000 out of the account and you only started with 42,000. So you just took all the money out. So that's why it's not trading. That's a rug pull. Anyways,
Yeah.
I just wanted to share those two things
No,
before I
great points.
forgot.
Yeah, the rug, if somebody did that and they pulled the money out of their own trader, they're really doing a rug pull on themselves, not on the trader. You know what I'm saying? Because it's only them that suffer at the end of the day in your example.
Well, I don't own any coins that I'm not
Right.
trading.
Right.
So, I mean, I know a lot of people are sitting on XRP, and I know some good news came out not too long ago, and someone had a $42,000 account, and he or she, I don't remember, I don't want to say, but I do know who. And if
Yeah.
you're on here, you know, you used the whole 40,000 that you had left and bought XRP, and you just drained all the money out of the auto trader.
Yeah, I gotcha. Well, one thing I forgot to say before I ask you the first question is I always ask people to keep two things at the forefront of your mind. The first thing is when we say set it and forget it, you'll hear that repeatedly. Please take it literally because it really is. When you buy the trader and you click on Casey's link, which by the way, Edward will be putting into the chat, you get $1,000 off, by the way. It's normally $44.99 for 3-year license, but Casey's special price is discounted $1,000 for the 3-year license. It's $34.99. When you click on that link and you buy the trader, the GoBabyTrade, and you go live, you could literally go to the other side of the world with your family for a month and not even think about the trader. Just you forgot you had the trader. Guess what? It's working for you every minute of every day on Ed Barsano's servers. So you don't even have to log in. You don't have to make adjustments. You're not getting signals. You're not copy trading. It's literally set it and forget it. Why do you think this intrigued me? I am not at all someone that has patience to learn how to trade any market. Okay, so in 2012, when my buddy told me he met this former Microsoft programmer that developed a trader that I don't have to interact with at all, I was all ears, because that's just me. I got a busy life. I got too many other things to do. Okay, either in terms of making money, generating money, or having fun, or traveling. That's my drug of
Yeah, you
choice
do
is,
a lot of traveling.
yeah, my drug of choice is global travel. So, but anyway, the second thing I'd like everybody to keep at the forefront of your minds is just think about what this gentleman created here for us. And I mentioned it a little bit a few minutes ago. He leveled the playing field without any of us being three things. We don't have to be accredited investors. We don't have to know anything about trading. We don't have to know anything about crypto. You hardly have to know anything about computers when you think about it. But with all that, or without all that, you could make money in your sleep now using Ed Barsano's platform and technology. Folks, that's never been done. It's never been done. So this is very unique to the marketplace. So Ed, first question that we hear a lot, and we see some questions coming in already. We'll get to them, don't worry. But the first most common question is about the AI. We hear these buzzwords in the last 2 years about AI bot this, AI bot that, crypto AI trading bot this, AI trading bot is the buzzword. So how does your trader differentiate itself from all these buzzwords that are so liberally thrown around in cyberspace?
Yeah, I never have a pat answer for this because it's just so crazy, the stuff that they say.
I know.
And I've been doing AI since '89, and AI is pattern recognition. Okay, and the more data it has, the smarter it gets. And so when someone says they have an AI bot, and really there were no AI bots, all right? There was no AI out there other than in my traders since 2000. Okay? When I automated TD Ameritrade back in 2006, I had AI in my traders already. And I never bragged about it. So that trader you had in 2012 had AI. But to me it was, AI is like an add-on. The star of the dish is the trader. The trader is all the intelligence. The AI has 27 indicators, and it's like it's a side program. The AI is separate from the auto trader. And when the auto trader is making trades, it calls the AI and says, "Do you agree with me? Do you think it's going to go higher? Or do you think it's going to go lower?" That's only when the software is ready to make a trade. It doesn't let the AI dictate the trade. The AI doesn't come out of the blue and say, "Hey, buy now." It's like, no, that's not how it works. Because what if the auto trader is not ready to buy based on money management? Money management's the most important thing. Money management is safety. And I call safety first. Without safety, you would just go all in. And then if you're wrong, and the coin goes lower, you just become a buy and holder because all your money's up here. You're at the top. And then the price goes down here and you're missing 1,000 trades down here because you put all your money in at the top. So you can't let AI just call the shots. It's okay when the auto trader says it wants to buy more. If the price went lower and the auto trader says, "I want to buy more," then it calls the AI and says, "Do you agree with me? Or do you think it's going to go higher? Or do you think it's going to go lower?" If the AI thinks it's going to go lower, then the software will hold off on doing the buy until it goes lower. Okay? So the AI really can only do two things. It can give me a percentage. It can say, "I'm 98% sure it's going to go higher in the next 20 minutes." Okay? That's all the AI is good for. Or the AI can say, "I'm 95% sure it's going to go lower in the next 20 minutes." Again, that's it. The AI is not a robot walking, we always see that stuff on TV, these autonomous robots doing things, and they talk about the robots are now going to have self-conscious. That's all dream stuff. That's all theoretical stuff that is years out. The auto traders, robotic traders, or robotics, period, are not going to be self-conscious, all right? That's just dream talk. Okay, that's 200 years out. Okay, it's not real. So when I see these other AIs that are popping up all of a sudden, I'm like, where were they for the last 25 years? Now they're popping up, these traders out there saying they have AI, and I'm like, what are they talking about? And they're like, "Hey, look at me, I have an AI trader." What does that even mean? Because if you just created an AI last year, that AI doesn't know anything. It has to learn. AI is a learning system. AI, when you turn it on, can't tell you 1 + 1 is 2. And people have heard me say that before. It has to learn that. If it ever says 1 + 1 is 2, it can say, well, I'm 98.5% sure of that. It can't even be 100% sure of it because it hasn't seen a lot of data. You know, put it this way, the AI that they've created, it doesn't know what it doesn't know. And if it hasn't been running for 25 years, it really hasn't even seen anything. It's missed all the crashes and all the things that go on that can affect the market. I mean, and believe me, there's a lot more than you realize. I'm not even going to go into that right now, but there's a ton of things. Brokers can throw wrong data at you. I mean, trades can go through and get half filled. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that nobody talks about that the AI isn't going to solve for you. That's the trader. The trader is the star of the dish. The trader has 2.5 million lines of code in it, plus it's being fed by many programs feeding the or feeding your trader, feeding it multiple data from different sources, multiple data feeds. There's just a ton of things that people out there saying, hey, look at me, I have an AI trader, and that's all they say. Well, then you haven't told me anything. Because AI can't predict what a coin's going to do tomorrow. It can only tell you what it's going to do in the next few minutes.
Ed, do you mind if I add my my 2 Bitcoins?
I love it when you when you jump in.
So
He's so eloquent.
I have a lot, but both Attila and I, and you're on the phone constantly.
What am I, chop liver?
We have, yeah. We'll throw you a bone. Hang on a second. So,
well, your commentary in the beginning was absolutely wonderful, Attila.
Thank you.
there you go.
Thank you.
So let me add a little bit of perspective. So anybody, and we encourage everybody that joins us, learn as much as you can, but also do your own research. And we're going to give you tools to do that. But let me give you my 2 Bitcoin. Used to be 2 cents. Now it's 2 Bitcoin because I don't deal in TradFi anymore. To what it means, what this system means as compared to anything else that's out in the market. First of all, you look at 99.9, and I've not found anything that has components anywhere near similar to GoBabyTrade. But you look at 99% of what's in the market, and they say they're AI traders, but where's the AI coming from? You just heard the expert in the field. AI doesn't know what it doesn't know. First of all, GoBabyTrade has 25 years of clean data in it. What do I mean by clean? Clean data, meaning all the data generated is coming from traders, coming from GoBabyTrade traders instances that are out in the world. It doesn't go. It's not an extranet. It's not an intranet. It's all internet. It's all an intranet that nobody can get to. You talk about from a safety perspective, like, well, we get questions all the time about, can it be hacked? No, it's not connected to the outside world. It's connected to you as an owner and operator of the trader. And I say operator, you don't need to operate it if you want to look at it, but it just does everything for you. So the quality of the AI data. 2, the age of the quality of the data. It's got 25 years, and correct me if I'm wrong, Ed, you educate people in that every minute of every day, each one of the traders that are out in the marketplace writes more data to make the AI smarter and smarter and smarter. So off the AI subject for a second, as you also pointed out, one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful parts of the system is the fact that it manages your money for you. It takes all emotion out of it. It literally, you put $10 in or 10 million, you can't put 10 million, $100,000 in, it parses, you just don't know it. It parses all of the data and all of your money into what I would label this as a life trader. When you see its performance and what it's done in an 80% down market, can you imagine when this thing actually sees a bull market, which it's never seen? All of that data, this thing is like having a trading house working solely for you, making the smartest decisions. Another thing about AI that I see in the marketplace, Anybody that says they have an AI trader, it doesn't trade for you. It may give you some semblance of smart symbols and smart indicators of what to do. You don't have to worry about that here. This analyzes, I don't know whether you caught it, but Mr. Barsano said it analyzes 27 independent indicators on a millisecond basis. You want to try and beat 2.5+ million lines of code getting smarter every day? Go take these elements and go look in the marketplace and see how many results you find of other, I can't even call this a trader. This is a wealth growing and wealth management system that simply does not exist. Am I excited about it? Am I talking you into one? I'm excited about it because it's working and changing the trajectory of my personal and family finances. Am I trying to talk you into it? Absolutely not. You'd be smart to consider it being part of your portfolio, but this is educational. I'm probably the most enthusiastic of the three of us, but these two gentlemen are
Well,
so
at this minute you are.
right this minute I am. It's just, it is amazing. If you don't take this for what it is and go do your own research, and geez, if there's something out in the marketplace that you find that's equivalent to this, please let us know. It doesn't exist. So I went off the rails. That's my 3 Bitcoin
No, that's right.
opinion.
No, but you're right. If a system out there tells you to buy a coin, what does that mean? I mean, just telling me to all right, buy this coin now. What does that mean? I don't know. They didn't tell you how much to buy. They didn't, there's no money management in that. They just said buy a coin. Well, if you go in with all your money and the coin goes the wrong way, what do? Then you're dead.
By the way, you have to manually do that.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I've 100% automated this whole thing.
Hey, Ed, can I ask you the next question now? Okay, Edward, stop drinking coffee, please, before these Zoom.
No, Mr. Barsano's drinking smart water.
All
Everybody
right.
thinks I'm drinking beer, but it's kombucha for my health.
All right. So Ed, here's a point. This is not really a question. It's a point of confusion with many people that get the trader. And believe me, it's the biggest point of confusion. And that is somebody goes live with the trader with whatever amount of money, doesn't matter, 5,000, 20,000. And they're shocked almost that all the money is not pulled in at once into the trader. They don't get the money management part. So can you speak to that real quick?
Sure. I like how you threw in that real quick at the end.
Yeah, I know that doesn't apply. I know.
But it's what we were touching on earlier. It's not going to put all your money in right away. If it does, then you're just a buy and holder. Because it has to reserve money to be able to trade no matter where it goes. And you always hear me say down is good, down is good. You want to build inventory. That's why I'm saying down is good, because if I buy it and it goes lower and I buy it again and it goes lower and I buy it again, and while it's going lower, it's still wiggling. I'm still buying and selling, buying and selling, buying and selling. But then if it goes lower again below those, I'll hold those and buy again down here even lower and then even lower. And that's okay. Down is good. You want it because no matter where it goes when it's wiggling, can I show a bucket in a well? Do you mind if
You
I do
can
that?
actually. Yep. Bear with me a second. I need to give you co-host rights. You're on now.
Okay, thank you. So I was presenting to an audience in Raleigh, North Carolina on the subject of AI. And actually, it was a whole room full of programmers, of AI developers. And we were talking about the interns of AI, internals, okay? But then I saw a whiteboard, and of course I went to the whiteboard, and I drew a picture of a bucket and a well. You see, I like to talk about this stuff because I want to be, what people have been calling me is very transparent. I want you to know exactly how the system works. If you're another developer and you want to go and create another system to try to, and that's fine. Go ahead. You know, I'm not opposed to other people creating systems to compete with me. That's fine. They're 25 years too late though, and there's a lot more to it than I make it all sound easy.
That part.
But I am going to tell them the internals of how things work. So I drew a picture of a bucket and a well, and I said, if the bucket goes from the top to the bottom of the well and gets the water, and then goes all the way back up and dumps it out, and everybody accepts that. That's what wells do. You put the bucket in, it goes all the way down, gets the water, goes all the way up and dumps it out. And I said, if it does that, if it repeats that process for a lifetime, how much water will it pump in a lifetime? This isn't a trick question. And there's no way you're going to give me an exact answer. Some mathematician probably will. But so they start throwing out numbers like 1 million gallons, 1 billion gallons, 1 trillion gallons. Okay, because I didn't tell them really how big the bucket is or anything. But if you're going to do it forever, it's going to be a lot of water. Everybody accepts that. So then I said, okay, well, what if it's the crypto market and we don't have to go all the way down? The bucket doesn't have to go all the way down, and it doesn't have to go all the way up. It can just go down here and up here. Buy, sell, buy, sell, no matter where it goes. Buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, but wherever it goes. You don't have to go all the way down. You don't have to go all the way up. Just down a little, up a little, give me the money. Buy, sell, repeatedly for the rest of your life. And I said, how much water can it, or how much money can it pump in a lifetime? And here's the bucket. So there it is. It goes down a little, up a little, pumps money. Down a little, up a little, pumps money. Just buy, sell repeatedly forever. Now it went further down. Hold that loser. That's good to have that. And then it buys and sells at a lower price. That's fine too. Then it even goes down further. Now I'm holding both of those. And it's still wiggling down here forever. And it just keeps doing that. And if it goes lower, that's okay. Now I'm holding all three of those, but I'm buying and selling down here. The action is down here. Follow the money wherever it goes. And then when you get those 30% jumps and it jumps up, you notice you just sold all those off that you were buying there. So it's just money in perpetuity. No matter where the bucket goes, as long as the company stays in business, they have to keep giving you money forever. It's
Yep.
just free money. I call it free money. Everybody hears me say that. But it's literally free money. I don't understand why everybody feels like they have to gamble when they get in the crypto market. It's like, stop it. You're not even gambling. It's like running a 7-Eleven. You put potato chips on the shelf and you sell it at a higher price. It's not rocket science. We've been doing that for 1,000 years. So, but think of this, why it's good to have a lot of inventory. You see all this inventory, it's good. That's why I say down is good. And the example I made up for that is if you're running a 7-Eleven, that's a grocery store for your international folks. It's a small grocery store. And they put one bag of chips on the shelf. If a school bus pulls in with a bunch of kids, they're only going to sell one bag of chips. But if you have 20 bags of chips on the shelf and that school bus pulls in, they're going to sell 20 bags of chips. That's why down is good, because you want to have inventory. So I was in a grocery store just yesterday, and it was an end cap. That's the end of the aisle, right? And it had all the shelves. Nothing on the shelves. They were all empty. I wanted to take a picture of it. But I'm paranoid, I'm with my wife. She would instantly say no. Because, I know they don't like you taking pictures in these places. But I wanted to take a picture of a completely empty shelf. That's bad. And that does not happen in like Walmart, Trader Joe's. I notice in those stores, the aisles are packed with people. But then, as my job is, this is more marital advice, I guess. As my job is to push the cart, and her job is to put stuff in it.
That's great.
That's how our house, that's how we operate after 43 years. But what am I doing when I'm pushing the cart? I'm looking around. I'm looking at people. I'm looking at the whole place. I'm looking at empty shelves. And what do I always do? I look for the workers. And you guys ought to try this, some of you men. That sounds chauvinistic, I guess. Some of you women too. Just look around at the workers. What are they doing? And I'll tell you what they're doing. They're filling the shelves. Because if you walk past an empty shelf, if a customer walks past an empty shelf and there's nothing on it, you've just sold nothing. Keep the shelves full, and you can all test that. Next time you go to Trader Joe's or Walmart. Now, I was at Albertsons the other day, and there was a bunch of empty shelves in the aisles. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I spotted that right away. I'm like, whoa, there's nothing here. Right in this, this aisle, in the middle of the aisle, there's a whole shelf here empty. And I go a little further, another empty shelf. I'm like, what is going on? Because I'm walking past these empty shelves. I don't see anything there. I'm not buying anything. You gotta keep the shelves full. Same thing in the crypto market. You gotta keep the inventory. You gotta keep inventory. Down is good. So when you see the market crashing, don't worry. That doesn't hurt the auto trader. It helps the auto trader because what you're doing is you're adding inventory on a low at as it goes lower. And what happened just a couple of days ago? These coins that we're all talking about that are at the top of the highest trade count report, and we'll get to that report whenever somebody asks me about it. But Bonk, Pepe, they ran, man. They were up like 20 or 30%. And these are common coins that a lot of people running an auto trader trade, and they had big up days. I mean, was that just yesterday?
Bonk, I don't know. Edward's trading Bonk in one of his accounts.
Bonk,
Yeah.
Pepe, Ando, they were a bunch of those. They all ran yesterday. It
Oh
was a
yeah, big
beautiful
time,
day.
big time. Can you show your trader now, Ed?
Sure.
Yeah, that would be great because a lot of questions come up from the trader. The proof is in the pudding. I mean,
Well,
yeah.
there is one more screen if we can show the coin
Okay,
market cap.
sure.
This is a typical coin, Alchemy Pay. Most of all of us, I trade that coin. It's one of my staples. And this is what I'm talking about. You're buying and selling. You see the wiggles, but you're also trending down. So you're holding some inventory that's gone down. I actually got a phone call right when it was at this, what is that called? It's not the peak. What's it called when it's at the very bottom?
Oh, they just say it's bottoming.
All
So
right,
yeah,
it was bottoming.
yeah.
And I got a phone call from somebody that was a week ago, I guess. And he said, or a couple of weeks ago, he said, Ed, should I stop my trader from trading since the price is so low? And I'm like, hey man, the biggest money you're gonna make is what you buy at the bottom. Low is good. So look what happened, it just started wiggling and started trending up. So all that inventory you were holding, you started selling off. And then you got that big spike, boom, and you sold everything that you would have possibly held back here. It all sold off. And if you look at an all-time chart, I call these like pyramids. You're still trading in these flat parts here, but then you keep getting these spikes and you sell it all. Any inventory you had left over, you sell off. You get multiple pyramids like that. I mean, it's just the greatest. I mean, I just love it. I just can't get past all this
Yeah.
free money.
Yep.
I showed one chart years ago when it was just the stock market, when I used to go to presentations, because somebody sent me a chart and it looked beautiful. All that wiggling up and down, up and down, up and down. And it looked like just an awesome, amazing chart. But one thing you didn't notice was the price it started with at the beginning of the month, and it happened to be only a monthly chart. It looked like it would have to be a yearly chart because it had so many wiggles in it. so many wiggles in a month. But it started at one price and it ended the month at the same price.
Mhm, mhm.
If you're just a buy and holder, you've gone nowhere.
Yeah.
If you're trading, you got all these trades. It's just free money.
Cool. Good,
Anyways, you
good
wanted to
slide.
see my trader.
Good slide. Yeah. Maybe you cover
Oh,
the left side first and light blue so people know what they're looking at.
all right. All right, I'll do it your way. That's cool. Because I'm
I
so excited. I want to get down to the money making. This is where
I
the
know.
money is.
I
But
know.
but yeah, it shows the trader. It's got view, whether it's live or paper trading. It's got a view videos. You can see these. Click on that to see videos for this page. Tells you about each section: the left, the right, top, bottom. Um, the current account value on its way back up. It went down into the 800 range during the crash, but it's, when it went down, I don't look at my account value. That's another education. I know that's hard for people. Your DNA is telling you to keep looking at the account value. And I'm like, I don't care about the account value because that's just inventory going up and down. That's the price of the coins going up and down. You can't control that. Nobody in the world can. So quit looking at it. Quit looking at the price of the coin. What's important is that the trader is staying near that price. Because if I'm near the price, they got to wiggle. And when they do, they give me free money. So I care about the profits taken. Here's today's profits taken already. All right, we're on our way. Good day. Considering all the coins are down, 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 and we still took profits on those top three or the top two, ACH and GRT. We actually took profits on that one and that one today already. So today's profits, and then you got your 30-day profits taken, the last trailing 30 days, and then you have the profits taken since December 19th, 2021. That's just about when the crypto market crashed. The crypto winter started in about October of 21. So on this downslide for the last 3 years, while these coins were dropping 80, 90%, we just kept taking money. Right here, it shows the closed trades. And here's all the open positions. So while it was going down, we were getting hammered. But then people started calling me about a year later and said, Ed, look at my closed positions. That was this number. It started to overtake the open positions, the negative inventory, what was going down. And then there was really no looking back because we just kept taking money forever. No matter where they go, they got to it's like a ratchet. You keep ratcheting that profit bucket higher. But the open positions can only go up and down as it wiggles. But every time it tries to wiggle up, we take money. And that bucket never empties. That's like if you had a jar and you just throw one marble in it every day for the rest of your life. Watch that bucket fill up. And then you have your profits saved.
Hold on. I just want to go back to, can you go back to the blue? I just want to share with everybody, there's not, like we said in the beginning, Edward said it, there's no guarantees. It was in red. We're not financial advisors. There's no guarantees. Your
Right.
results may be different than, here's the main thing to understand. Everybody starts with different amounts of money at different times, at different point in time, with different
Right.
amounts, with different coins. So just because you see a trader that was started with $200,000 and has collected $906,000 in profit since December of 2021, that doesn't mean you're going to get the same result. Okay, but it might be better. It might be less.
Yeah, because that was in a flat out down market.
It's
That was in a
all over the map. It's all over the map. It depends on a lot of factors, but it'll definitely be a lot more than you're getting out of TradFi, which is traditional finance. I guarantee you that. And you don't have to do anything. Okay.
Well, look at, I
so-
already noticed something. Just looking at my trader, I noticed a peculiarity. I'm going to
Yeah.
call it.
What's
The
that?
software took profits on ACH here,
Uh-huh.
Alchemy Pay. I took $325 of free money. But I notice up here the market's down. That coin's down today. How could it take profits on a down day? Well, you know what? The day didn't start down. Let's look at ACH. I can click on that plus and expand it and see the individual lots that it bought. And I'm going to look down here at the one that it closed. Here's the one that it closed. The coin was actually at 28.028,488. But the current price, if I can go a little lower, the current price is 0.27068. So it started up and then it went down.
Huh.
Isn't that beautiful? So even on a down day, they went up a little bit and we said, hey, I'm going to take that free money. And then what did the coin have to do after I closed it? It went back down. And then what did we do? Let's look at that buy the last buy right here. We rebought it at, the software rebought it at 0.27808 after selling at 0.28486 and locking in this free money. And that's only a 3% jump.
Yeah.
3% plus fees, you can see that right here.
Mm-hmm.
So it went up. The software said, I'm going to take the profit. And the software took the profit, locked it, closed it in the position. And then the coin went back down and it went down enough. So the software said, okay, I'll buy it again. I'll rebuy it at the lower price. So, and that's what it does forever. It's just, if you look down here at the trades, I mean, yesterday was a beautiful day. I mean, we had 420 sell, here's a sell, and another sell, and a buy, and another sell. Well, no, yesterday was 422. 3 sells in a row. Interesting, that's all we did yesterday was 3 sells. We didn't do any buying at all. So, but if you look a couple days before that on 420, we did selling. It's a sell if there's a price here, and it's a buy if it's blank. So, and it's interesting, that was all ACH. That's my favorite coin. I call that one of my staples. I'll trade that. I'll trade ACH till I die. And I've been trading it for 3 years, and it just keeps on giving me free money. So it's just up, down, up, down. It tries to go lower. We say, well, you're going to go lower. I'm going to buy more. And if you go higher, I'm going to sell it. You can see the quantity right here matches 340,161, and right above it, it sold it. So we bought it at 3:59 p.m. on 420. At 6:37 on the same day, it sold it. See, this isn't a day trader per se. This is a profit trader. This system can hold a position for 6 months. It's like, hey, you can't fool the auto trader. All the gameplay that goes on in the market is all designed for the rich to get richer. Well, there's no more of that. Now, we don't allow that market to breathe. We don't let that market move 3% up or down without the auto trader buying or selling. No more free ride for the wealthy. We get our cut now. I mean, I feel vicious about that. I really feel like no more do they get a free ride on all those wiggles. We get our cut. And there's nothing they can do to stop us. This almost sounds like it's illegal. It should be shut down because nobody's done what we've done here. But you know, this is the result of 25 years of studying the market and watching what works and what doesn't. And I got rid of like I said, like Attila said, that first trader, I had 10 screens of things you could do. And I call it 10 screens of ways to blow yourself up. So when I sold that company and I rewrote the software, the first thing I did is I went web-based. I said, we're going to run the auto traders on our servers, so you don't have to worry about, is your computer running? Is the trader running in the morning? You don't have to worry about any of that stuff. The auto traders are always running on our servers. Then the next thing is I took 27 indicators that we had, and you can get, I'm going to tell you how. Go and get the technical analysis from A to Z book. It's only about that thick. It's technical analysis from A to Z. Study every coin. And it tells you right in there if the indicator is down here, it's a buy. If it's up here, it's a sell. Each indicator is different. That's all put in the auto trader. But only I didn't have to tell the auto trader when it's a buy and when it's a sell. That I didn't have to tell the AI. The AI can figure that out on its own. So I put 27 indicators in the AI, and I said the AI can handle pattern recognition better than anybody. You ever see people sitting in front of 6 monitors? They're really looking for 6 monitors, 6 coin or indicators, all pointing in the same direction, up or down. They're trying to look for patterns, and all of them pointing, all of them bullish at once. The AI does it way better than that. The AI can assign each indicator a certain percentage and tell it, that indicator is only worth about 5% when it comes to decision making, whereas another indicator might be 70%. I mean, the way the AI works is it's beyond your comprehension, beyond mine. When I look at the internals and I watch the numbers, it's like a brain working. You watch those neurons, the way it's creating them. I'm like, it's cool. And I've been doing it since '89, so I know it inside and out. But I got all that out of the way. And then I told the auto trader, all you have to do is money management. You have to just look for profits and take them 3% up, 3% down. So the software your auto trader's running, like what is it?
Ever ready, bunny?
Ever ready bunny rabbit.
Hey,
It's
Ed,
just flying, man, and you can't fool this trader.
one of the questions we get often, Ed, is what kind of return can I expect? And of course, like I mentioned a few minutes ago, we're not financial advisors. We can't give you a number. It's all market dependent. However, you've created a really cool report that everybody has access to even before they pull the trigger on clicking the link and buying.
Oh, yeah. Picking the coins is, yeah. What we do here is, this is the highest trade count report. And what do you call this one, Edward?
The $1 billion report. This information is not created, aggregated, presented anywhere else on the planet. And guess what? I talked about early on about doing your own research. You can go to the link that I posted for Crypto Casey's discount. It takes you to the front page. That this trade report is right on there.
Yeah. Before you even sign up.
This is gold. And actually, Ed, at the end, after we get through Q&A, I took a simulation trader and I took the top performers that you're talking about right now. Watch what it's done. I'm going to actually share my simulated trader, and you're going to see something very interesting and how powerful what you've created for and shared with people for free.
Well, we only trade, most GoBabyTrade clients trade the coins at the top of the report, and not just the first 1 or 2, but like the top 10 or 15, coins that are up in the top of the report. And what I did is the report gets smarter, as I, when I first created this report around, I think it was, I don't know, April or May or June. I didn't have this report, for the last 3 years. But it shows you how many trades you would have got if you traded that coin, like 1,920 trades over the last year, or 1,610, or 1,590. Okay. But then I added the monthly average and I said, oh, well, let's see what is the average? But then I looked at these big numbers, each month I was improving it. And I said, wait a minute. Then the reason that monthly average was so big is because it had these crazy months right here. It wasn't like that every other month. So I added the monthly numbers so you could look at that. And, so it's interesting. Like if I was to, like this number 2, SPA, it's doing great. Let me say this, all coins, just about every coin dropped last month. Okay. It was just all the market went down a lot and it didn't wiggle enough. So they all dropped more from their previous month's trades, which is fine. But I don't like stuff like this: 15 trades, 18 trades, 14 trades, 12 trades, 20 trades. I like more like Bonk. If I ignore last month, its lowest month was 48 trades. And Pepe, the next one, its lowest month was 52 trades. That's amazing. That's its lowest month of the year. If I was to go to Bitcoin, BTC, and I look here, it's on line 310, only 283 trades in a year, averaging 25 trades a month. And if I look at its highest month was 35 of the whole year, of every month, its biggest month was 35. So people don't, Bitcoin might be a good long-term holding kind of thing, an heirloom you want to hold for your kids, or maybe if, some people want to be a little diversified. I'm not opposed to that. I personally don't own any coin that I'm not trading, but some people do. Because I know I talk to a lot of clients and a lot of people are they do own Bitcoin. And, I don't tell them, man, I dump that junk. Yeah, I used to, right? I used to say dump that junk, but I don't say it anymore because, a lot of people are holding it and, I don't want to tell them to just dump it. It's okay. It might be okay for a long-term holding. But most people don't trade these coins at the bottom of the report. Look at this junk. 7 trades, 0 trades, 0 trades, 2 trades, 8 trades. All these. Well, that's Bitcoin, but look at this one. 1 trade per month, 2 trades. Look at how crummy all these numbers look. Why would you want to put that in an auto trader? And the further you go down to the bottom of the report, things get really bad. 5 trades in a month. This is junk. They're just not good coins. They don't have enough volatility to run with a robotic trader. I can tell you right now, most people are trading the coins at the top of the report. And Ondo, very popular. Look at its trades. The worst month it had was 48 trades. That's what I look at, is I want to see how many. I can feel comfortable if I turn on that, if I trade Ondo, personally, I can feel totally comfortable knowing I'm going to get at least 48 trades. Okay? And that's its worst month. And more than likely I'm going to get a higher number, but that's a minimum I'm going to get, is at least 48 trades. Even SUI, I see a lot of people trading it, SUI. Its lowest month is 38 trades, but then boy, does it jump after that. Every other month after that is 80 trades, 90 trades. Talk about pure gold. Talk about free money. you know?
Yeah.
It's just,
Sui's
and
up.
that's what it's all about. Like you're
Mhm.
running a 7-Eleven, you put product on the shelf and you want to sell it. You sell it at a higher price. It's
Yeah.
not rocket science. You don't have to be gambling out there.
Ed, what do I say this trader does about volatility?
It eats it.
It eats volatility. And
Yeah, that was.
it does
I'm
not,
glad I remember that.
it
Yeah,
does
they give you tests like that
it
in your
it
doctor's office.
and it does not miss a bite.
Yeah.
Right.
Ed, why don't you Also go back to the menu, not the menu, but the you know, the main screen that people go when they click on your website. And folks,
Oh,
yeah, when Edward said a minute ago that you could do your own research, look at all these tabs that you could actually click on before you make your buying decision. Those highest trade counts are right there. There's a sample trader that's live. There's a blog. There's videos that are chock full of info.
videos.
And then there's the trade reports, which I'd like him to go over now.
Yeah,
I like the
I'm
third.
sorry to interrupt you for a second. So, for anybody that didn't catch it before, part of your research, not only if you want to take advantage of the discount, but I just posted the Crypto Casey's link. It doesn't require you to buy it. Click on it. It takes you right to this page. You can do all of your research.
Perfect. Thank you.
I like
So-
the third video in the blog section I created. It's the one with me here. If you want to listen to me yap more.
Yeah. No, this
Don't do this when trading cryptos. I mean, I really feel strongly about it. I feel, don't mortgage your house.
yeah.
Some people, they share with me what they're doing because once you start running an auto trader, you realize it's the more money you can put in it, the more money it's going to make.
Right.
And therefore, they start mortgaging their house. They start giving me the play-by-play on the phone. Well, Ed, my loan is almost through. And it's like, oh man, if you didn't have a mortgage on your house, I hate for you to get a mortgage. You know what I mean? It took you years to pay off the house.
Yeah.
I don't like that, or some people get credit cards and then they just take the cash out of them to use.
Yeah.
I
So,
just don't, I put in this video things that I don't like to do. But it's once you see what the auto trader does, I can tell you what people do. What with the auto traders, once you start running a robotic trader and see the power of it, all money from your other projects kind of makes its way into GoBabyTrade because it's the perfect place to park your money and
yeah.
watch it grow all by itself.
It's kind
Can
of
you
like having
imagine
your
if
own
you're
bank.
running a 7-Eleven and man, all the effort there, you gotta have that building, you gotta lease or buy, you got all that parking area to deal with. You gotta buy the inventory to put on the shelves. You gotta hire people to put it on the shelves. You gotta have cashiers, to cash people out. The auto trader is doing all that without all that bricks and mortar. It buys look at each coin. I look at each coin like it's there's ketchup, there's potato chips, there's Doritos or whatever, I don't know, all the stuff that they have at a 7-Eleven. Each one of them is like an individual item. Candy. The auto trader buys it and sells it, buys it and sells it.
Mhm.
Same store sells. It's just turning inventory.
You just lit a light bulb for me, Ed. I actually recently had a conversation of somebody asked me if they wanted to start, entrepreneurs want to start businesses, right? How do you make money in a business? If you look at this trader through the lenses of starting your own side business, what easier way is there? Where else in the marketplace, in traditional finance, where can you buy a business for $3,500, fund the business with whatever you choose to afford, without paying the rent? People made some comments about, well, for why is it, you say you made this for everybody, but it's $3,500 for a 3-year license. Look at it through a different lens. Where else can you get any return? 4%, 8%, 10%. Look at what the potential is. Look at this as if you bought a business. You could buy your own little side business, invest in it whatever you want, but it's yours. No inventory, right? No bags of chips or ketchup or whatever. No pain of rent, employees, getting people to show up for work. Where else could you invest in the business of you and get anywhere near the return that this represents?
And what
Yeah.
you said about employees and all that, any of you that have had employees know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at this as being an entrepreneur. Don't go buy a franchise, McDonald's for $350,000 and have to wrestle with all of the stuff we already mentioned. Invest in something that literally is a life trader. Once you start using it, you've said this, and Attila said this before. The only people, including present company, that are skeptical about this trader are, what's the punchline, Ed?
People who don't own it.
If you
People who
own
don't
this,
own the auto traders. They're the only
right?
ones
Somebody
that
made the
could
comment
afford it.
about saying things to sell products. We're here to educate you. We'd like you to take advantage of it, but we're not here to push product. We're here to push an opportunity that doesn't exist in the marketplace anywhere else. Don't buy it. If it's not,
I'm the
don't buy
worst
it.
salesman ever. I couldn't sell candy door to door, believe me, when I was in 6th or 7th grade.
I'm just saying, change the perspective. Look, I don't divulge this all the time, but 32 years a federal agent. I've lived in the matrix for 3 decades. The matrix wants you to believe that you cannot succeed. Why do you believe that the average person makes $10 a month and spends $11? Because you've been programmed. If you start looking
Oh,
for
yeah.
lenses of the
All
things that you have been told about investments, about things that don't work. I talked about in the beginning. I said, scratch your head. Your mother told you if it's too good to be true, it probably is, but it's not. Do your research, factually look at this. If it's for you, it's for you. If it's not for you, it's not for you. But there isn't any opportunity to own your own business or to get a return on your hard-earned money. As Attila said, if you don't have something that's growing that grows your money to make more money, just keep working.
while you're sleeping.
No hard feelings.
But look at this. Look at how many. I'm going to jump in there, Attila, for a second. I apologize.
Sure. No problem. No problem.
I like to talk. But look at all these days. It's just, well, even when you see something like that, you go, wow, 329 was a slow day. All it did was buy on that day. But then what did it do with all that inventory? It just sold it all off. This is all it does. It just buys and sells, buys and sells. If you found a $20 bill on the ground 2 days in a row, look at all that free money. It's just literally free money. If you found a $20 bill on the ground 2 or 3 days in a row, you would start walking with your head down. You'd be looking for that 4th day. You'd be looking for that 20. You would. I mean, I literally get calls from people and say, how come my auto trader is not trading? I didn't make any money. It's hard to find a day where it didn't make money. But let's see if I can find one. 9, 18, 17. Did 16 go there with no money? No, it sold. Almost just about every day you're making money. So somebody actually called me and said, here, wait, maybe on the 13th. Nope, it cleaned. It spent all morning buying. Look at that. On the 13th. Buying. And then it spent all afternoon selling the same day. How beautiful is that? I mean, I got a call from somebody one time. He said, Ed, how come my auto trader didn't make any money today? What's going on? It's like, it's the market, It is what it is. Whatever the market's doing, don't worry about it because the auto trader's dealing with it. Don't worry. Down is good. You want it to go down so you have inventory to sell. A lot of people do it all wrong, the way they've been doing it. And I've been studying, I've been working, I was presenting all over the country before COVID to audiences. I never knew what I was going to walk into. There could be 30 people in this audience, or there could be 300. And it was funny in Florida because you have Tampa Bay, Orlando, West Palm Beach, and Miami. You have all these places that are in close proximity. So when I'm presenting at different ones every week, right? Somebody said, Ed, I've come to 4 of your presentations and every one of them are different. And I learn more different stuff at each one. It's because I don't have any notes. When you're just straight up and honest and it is what it is. You know, this isn't magic. I don't understand why everybody doesn't see it in the first place. I
Because
mean,
we
if
were
this
we were
number's going up and
programmed.
down, if you can run a 7-Eleven, you're doing the same thing here. You put product on the shelf and you sell it at a higher price. It's not rocket science. I make it sound too easy. That's the problem. And if you go to the internet and try to help people, or and you could try it, if you go to like a crypto board and try to talk about this stuff, people will say, "Get out of here, scammer." They don't want to hear it. But if you go there to the same board and say, "Do you think Bitcoin will go to 500,000 by Sunday?" He'll get 50 responses. I'm like, really? Kick that guy off the board is how I feel. Because that's a useless, stupid question. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
yet, if you go there with any intelligence, they want to kick you off the board because they just think it's a scam, and I don't know why they think it's a scam.
Ed, it's time to take your jacket off, buddy.
I was getting hot in the beginning. Oh, this is the Q&A section. I
Yeah,
love the Q&A section.
we got to get into the Q&A because there's a lot of them, and we want to make sure we are fair to everybody and get as many of these answered as possible. So,
And
Edward,
just for the record, before we start,
yep.
I have pants on, all right?
Okay. This week.
This week.
Okay, so Edward, do you want to start with Anthony's question?
Sure, sure, Anthony, and thank you for taking my word as we started. Don't wait on your questions. So Anthony chimed in right away. It said, "I'm about 99%." Oh, wait a minute. Sorry. Yes, I'm speaking English. My computer just reminded me. "I'm about 99.99% convicted that this works, but not yet purchased the trader. I do have a couple of questions. One, will I receive an email confirmation of the purchase?" Ed?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
You'll get a
Two.
welcome to GoBabyTrade email.
Yep.
It actually asks you to confirm
Yep.
afterwards.
Yeah.
Two, I intend on trading 3 to 5 coins. How much funds should I allocate for the positions for the trader, buy and sell on my Coinbase One account? Or will the trader factor in all of those numbers based on my total allocated trading funds? I want to say that my greatest fear factor is not having the know-how to utilize the trader safely, as I am only a few months into the crypto space. My
There you
journey
go.
in crypto so far has been intimidating and overwhelming, to say the least. It's because of Crypto Casey's guidance, giving me the strength and the tools to move through the space of crypto. Great observation. Great questions.
Well, Crypto Casey, for one, knows 1,000 times more than I do about the crypto space, without a doubt. I love listening to her, and you just can't get enough. And you could go over the same videos. Do you ever just listen to the same videos that she's made over and over?
Yep.
It's like the genius there. She is just so smart. But a lot of that isn't needed in the auto trader. I don't know all about blockchain and DeFi and all that stuff. I just know the auto trader cranks out money forever. But the auto trader automatically does this. Say you're just starting and you put your coins in, because as soon as you sign up, it's going to ask you for your coins. And there's a default button there that's, if you click default, it'll put up ACH, GRT, and SHIB. Those are my 3 staples. I've been trading for 3 years. They will never scare me out of those. I don't care where those prices go because they just keep giving and giving. Okay. And the default, it'll automatically spread if you're trading, and then you can add additional coins. But if you're trading 4 coins, if you hit spread percents equally, it'll just divide up your money equally for each one. So it's nothing, it's real easy. Yeah, I mean,
Yep.
as
The
soon as
short
you
answer
start,
is that once you're set up, and Ed and team and Attila and I and team, and I'll post the 2 support emails. depending on whether you have
Right.
technical questions or general questions. You're
You
not
got a
out in the
lot of
dark.
people here.
Right. Nancy is asking for personal help. She's a relatively new trader, trader owner, and I've asked her to send an email to support at GoBabyTrade. So you're not left in the dark. No one's trying to sell you anything and then say bye.
And then leave you in the dark. Yeah,
Right?
we don't do that. We don't leave anybody hanging at all,
Right.
ever. And all emails get answered within usually in a day, but possibly it could go 2 days. But generally, all questions get resolved. And then, we can answer an email, and then sometimes we'll look at an email and go, you know what, I need to call this person, to help better.
Right. Okay, good.
And
I think we covered it. So, great question. Great
so you can see
questions.
right
Let me
here,
just,
if you can, I don't know if you can read that. It says Raphael, GBT, GoBabyTrade. That's a client. Okay, but I'm busy right now. When I'm done with this, I'll call him back.
one
That's
thing
an
I want to
incoming
add,
call.
let me just, thank you, Ed. One thing to Anthony's question is, Anthony, your question is great, but you're forgetting about what I said earlier. You don't need to know anything about crypto. That's the beauty of this. It's set it and forget it. If you
Yep.
need help getting started and going live, you could always email us. I just helped somebody do that the other day. That's easy. And there,
Yeah,
by the
I
way,
mean,
under videos, there is a video of me taking somebody through going live and connecting their trader to Coinbase. It's
Yep.
right in there. I already did it. But if you need more help, you email us. We're back to you in a few hours. But that's the beauty of this. You don't need any special know-how. You could know zero about cryptos and take advantage of what it does for you.
Yeah. Don't feel like you're like you don't know what you don't know. Some cases you do, but quite frankly, what we through our experience of sharing this on a weekly basis is there's probably about 80% of the people out in the marketplace have heard of crypto but have no idea how to navigate that space. That's part of the reason why we're providing this education and presentation and a venue for you to ask questions. So don't feel bad if you've got a question. There's no what is it? What was the old adage? There's no stupid question. There really isn't. And the more 5 years ago, what do you say, Attila? When you started, you didn't know crypto from a jelly donut. I
No.
was in that same space.
Yeah.
But you're part of a community now, and you can whether you're interested in buying the license or interested in coming and joining us every week, then you can register the same link that you used to register for today. Join us. We like people asking questions. The more questions you ask, the more educated you are, the more probability of your success should you choose to go forward with this or anything else that you do.
and
So
can I say
don't feel
something?
bad. Pardon me?
The more questions you ask, the more intelligent we get also.
Yeah, you shared that earlier.
So I learned everything over the last 25 years.
Right.
People sharing, we're all sharing with each other
Yep.
and, and taking notes, and people give suggestions and I write them down. And then when we get a chance, if they're viable suggestions, we do them.
Yep.
And
And
you
then
notice you got view video at the top for this top part here. You got another view video for when you're putting in the symbols. Doesn't hurt to watch these videos. It's just me yapping, and then you go down to the bottom where the indicators are. You got another view video,
yep.
that talks about these. And there's only one page of settings. That's it. And I know when you look at the system, you go, that looks like a 1990s app, right? Right, Attila, doesn't that always come up?
Yeah, it
I mean,
does.
it does. I'm a 1990, I retired from Microsoft in 95. So it is a 1990s app, and I go to other sites because I do look around. And to me, they make everything look so complicated. They got so many features, and I already went down that path from 2000 till about 2018 when I sold that last system, that first system. I had all those drop down menus and like I said, and it had 10 screens of things you could do. Let me rephrase that. 10 screens of ways to blow yourself up. You don't, and you didn't need all that, and it was just gambling. And you know, the auto trader is very precise in what it does. You don't need to have, you know, you don't need to be gambling at all. You know, the software is very, very precise in what it does. And you don't need a whole drop down menus and all kinds of crazy stuff. We have one drop down menu on the top right, and this is everything you can do. There it is. You have your profits management, you have your subscription information, how much you paid for the auto trader. You don't get this one, Strategy Wizard. Sorry, that's only on my screen. Because there's a lot more going on behind the scenes that you don't need to be involved in. And the trader details, you don't need that one. You don't need raw crypto data. So those three you're not getting. It's for debugging and stuff. And, you know, it helps me. The highest trade count report, that's the $1 billion report. There's the frequently asked questions and videos. That's all you have in your menu, in your drop-down menu.
Yep.
One of the questions from Carrie is, some people can't seem to get their heads wrapped around the 100% profit savings versus 0%. Is there a way you can expound on this?
Sure. If I go to profits management and click on that, okay, you're telling the auto trader, say it makes $10 on a trade. And that's another thing. Don't worry about how much it makes per trade. That it's not a matter of how much per trade. I mean, you can't take a bag of potato chips and sell it for $30. Nobody's going to buy it. Okay? It's the same thing, you know, whatever you're going to make, whatever you make, it's all about how many bags of potato chips am I going to sell. And that's the goal of the auto trader, to sell a lot of chips, to sell a lot, buy and sell, buy and sell. That's what counts, not how much profit per trade. A bottle of ketchup they sell for $4. They make 8 cents a bottle. So I just wanted to put it in perspective. So per 100%, if you make $10 on a trade, the software puts 100% in this number, profits saved. It saves 100% of the profits. The principal goes back into the auto trader and lets it use it. Okay, so the saved profits just builds up if you have 100% there. I prefer to save 100%. I like a big, I want this to build up. Some people have 150,000, 200,000 in their save bucket because they're saving the money. They're saving all the profits while the market's been in this long-term downtrend. And we're still in the downtrend, by the way. Okay, so I mean, an uptrend to me would mean that the market is steadily going up. But you've seen that it's not doing that. We're getting a lot of down days, and then we get an up day, a few up days, and then we're getting a lot of down days and up days. It's still not a bull market. I started the trader in April of 21, right? We were in a bull market at that time. Straight up. That market was going straight up. The crypto winter started in October of 21. So what happened was I saw 20 trades a day. I'm like, this is fantastic. I mean, this is the best, the greatest thing I ever saw. You know, I mean, I used to have my laptop sitting next to my bed on the nightstand, and first thing in the morning when I woke up, I would lift up the lid on that laptop to see how much I made while I was sleeping. It was crazy. And it was thousands every night. And then we hit the crypto winter in October of 21, where everything started going down, straight down. You know, so then I said, save all your profits. When it was going straight up, I had it said save 0% of the profits, meaning I want all the profits. If I edit that, I could say save 0. If I say that, then the auto trader won't put anything in the save bucket here. It'll
It'll compound any of your profits back into the back into the trader.
It'll do what people call compounding. All your money is going back into the trader and letting it use it, you know, and that's good in an up market. But in a down market, you're just throwing all your profits into a black hole, and it's just going lower. The market goes lower, there went all your profits with it, because you're just, you know, what I say is the auto trader is designed to make money. What you do with your money after you make it is on you. You can go buy a new car, anything. You could spend your money however you want to spend it. Give it to your granddaughter for graduation, whatever. But the auto trader is designed to make the money. This page says, how do you want to spend your money? I prefer to save 100% of my profits now, so that every sale that it makes, the profits go into the save bucket, and let that build up. When we get into an uptrending market, then I can release that money. I can release it slowly. I could say I want to withdraw $10,000 from Coinbase and take it out. So you take it out of Coinbase, $10,000. But now the auto trader saw your account value drop 10,000. Your cash dropped 10,000 already. But then the auto trader is going to also deduct it from here too. So you have to remove it from here. Just put minus $10,000. So watch this go from 110,000 to 100,000. So I just released that 10,000 that you already took out. But if you didn't take it out of Coinbase and I released 10,000 from here, that means it gave the auto trader 10,000 more that it could use in its trading.
Yep.
I'm going to put it back.
Back into your save bucket. Yep.
Yeah, I'm putting 10,000. I just put plus 10,000.
Yep. This isn't a question, but a comment. Russ, you made a couple of great points. You said, I look at this as this auto trader as a business, and I run it as a business. Exactly to my point before. Russ has another comment about tax consequences of making money in the trader. So this is not advice. This is fact. And we can send you to the right place to be able to do your own research on this. But the fact is that if you can start your account and trade in USD or USDC. USD is centralized traditional finance dollars. USDC is a crypto stable coin. If you choose to start with a crypto stable coin, you fund your account with USDC, you make profits. It makes 10,000 trades over the year. It's buying and selling in crypto. The fact of the matter is, and this is not advice, it is just fact, and we can point you to the right place to validate that it is not considered a taxable event if you have $10 in USDC and you buy $10 worth of Ondo, it goes up 3%, it sells it back into USDC. That exchange, those trades are not taxable events. Even though Coinbase will send you a 1099 at the end of the year showing all of those trades, if it's in crypto, it stays in crypto. Do your own research. If you want, send us a note. We'll send you to a service we may be providing at some future date that will show beyond a shadow of a doubt exactly what I just told you. So back to a more conservative comment, Attila says, listen, fees and taxes, if you're making money, yes, it's not comfortable when you have to carve out some for something else or somebody else. One, on the fees, this trader nets the fees. So when you see a profit, that's net minus fees. If you own a Coinbase account and you connect and fund it to your Coinbase account, it automatically trades in Coinbase Advanced which are lower fees to begin with. If you do a lot of trading with the trader in and out of the trader, I wouldn't recommend it unless you're buying and selling some things that you want to hold on to. But for $29 a month, Coinbase One reduces your fees on the first 10,000 fees. You get them back. So again, if you got any questions, and actually now's a good point to let me put a couple of email supports, as I promised before, into the chat. Send Attila and I a note at support@rctmarketingsystems.com, and we'll give you some information about the comments that I just made. If you have more technical questions, then please send an email to support@GoBabyTrade.com. You can go to either one if you want to get started and need some help hand holding, and we'll do that all day, every day in making sure that you get started and set up correctly. Not a problem at all. So I got on that tangent. Thanks, Russ, for reminding me. I wanted to make that comment clear. Don't be scared away by the fact that you're going to make money and have to pay taxes on it. There are certain circumstances which it is, as I explained, which are not taxable events. It doesn't turn into a taxable event unless you turn it back into US dollars.
Well, there's also other things that affect that. Number one is the profit goal is 3%. But it added the fees that you pay to that. So you don't have to worry to the profit goal. So that's why it took 3.52%. So you don't have to worry about fees. As far as taxes go, my wife always says, give to Caesar what is Caesar's. Plain and simple. I don't worry about it. That's the last thing I worry about is taxes. If I'm making 100% a year, I don't care if I'm paying taxes. I don't even think about that stuff.
Yeah, different mindset. Everybody wants to be scared by taxes again. Back to the Matrix. That's what they want you to believe. Be scared of things that you don't know. So I think we have one more question. Sam, Ed, I noticed that you had SWFTC as one of your coins, and you have recently removed it from your group of 4 coins. My question is, why did you add
Oh, yeah.
to begin with?
No, that was in a different trader.
Different trader.
That was in a different trader. I have multiple traders.
Got it. So you still have it,
traders.
just not in this trader. So
yeah, I still have it.
Good. I think we covered all of the questions. We'll make sure that we go through the chat and cover the comments. But now, as I pulled your chain, Mr. Barsano, I did something in a simulated trader based on your
all right.
the power of your trade report. So may I boot you off? There you go. All right. So I'm going to share. What am I going to share? I'm going to share a couple of things. So I'm going to show you what happened. This was less than a month ago. Actually, 2 days will be a month. So
Edward, would it behoove you to show the slide first? Because it'll make more sense, I think.
Okay. Well, let me do that. Let me stop sharing. But now you just saw it took an automated profit. So we'll get back to that story. So let me share. All right. Okay, go back to the expectation slide. All right. So a lot of people ask, how much money do I have to put in the trader for it to make sense, particularly even though you're taking advantage of Crypto Casey's discount, and that's a significant discount. That means more money is going to go to work. So nobody can answer the question. It's up to your personal preference, what your tolerance is. And we always say, just to be conservative, don't invest in anything that you can't afford to lose, right? If it's something you've got to live on, then think twice about it. That's not advice. That's just common sense. But let's just say in this example, if you started with $5,000 and you saw evidence and heard comment and proof is in the pudding that this thing year over year is making triple-digit returns in an 80% down market. Let's look at things much more conservatively. And I'll show you an example. So thank you for getting me straight and getting things in order, Attila. So if you looked at just, yes, sir.
Edward, do you mind if I just say something before based on what you just said?
Yes.
You said don't invest in something that you can't afford to lose.
Right.
Okay. Can't afford to lose means I'm going to put this money in right now, and I need it all back right next week or next month.
Right.
That's what you're talking about.
Yes. Yes.
If you're going to leave it in there for a year, then you're okay. That's why we sell 3-year licenses.
Right.
Because the longer you're in, it gives the auto trader time to take and take and take and take and take
Right.
and rack up those profits. And then
Excellent.
you really see the power of the auto trader. Don't expect it like in one day or in a week to, you put your money in and in a week say, well, I didn't make enough money.
Right.
Well,
No, look, you're
because
absolutely right. Look through the lenses of the fact that if you use this capital in this example that we're talking about, and you put that in anything in traditional finance, TradFi, right? You take it to the bank, you buy a bond, you buy something, right? That supposedly you're gonna make money on. Well, first ask yourself the question of what if you've been shopping in the last month, year, 5 years. What is the real cost of money? What is real inflation? The real inflation number, if you look at it, nobody tells you about when the government prints more money. That's devaluing the purchasing value of the dollar that you have, nor does anybody really explain the circumstances of what real inflation is. So let's just throw a dart at it, and I can promise you, if you do your research, it's going to be 15%. So if you took this money and put it in anything in traditional finance, are you going to make 15%? That's a starting point. Just something to ponder. But if you were to take advantage of the 3-year discount for $34.99, and you put in starting balance and trading of $5,000 over that 3-year period, if you took the 50%, do your math. If I goofed up, let me know, but I didn't goof up. So at the end, you've got this in profit, right? Minus your 5,000 invested, minus your $34.99. At the end of 3 years, if you did not do this would be your lost opportunity. But then, as Mr. Barsano talked about, this is a lot, and I made the comment earlier as well. This is a life trader. If you look at the longevity, so let's say you had it for 6 years, there's $56,000 minus the 5,000. Yes, you would have to buy 2 licenses. Your opportunity cost is $45,000, or a mid-level Mercedes that you could make in your sleep. But then start compounding, start looking out. And this is about half of what the recorded return has been since the trader's been released. In it again, I keep harping on it, in an 80% down market, right?
In a down market.
So these are super conservative numbers. 9 years, yes, you would pay for 3 licenses, but your opportunity cost of this turning into this is pure net profit that you can live on, reinvest, do whatever. If somebody's going to work for again, I'll talk about the matrix again. What's the average career? 40 years, right? So we're looking at a fraction of that to take your hard-earned money, not put it in the bank at 3%, 4%, if you could even get that.
Yeah, right.
Against inflation, you're now negative 10% a year. Just ponder what the opportunity cost is. And if the number's bigger, some folks that joined us today and are rabid fans of the trader have put significantly more money. This is just a relatively conservative estimate, right? So when you talk about $3,500 over a 3-year period, is it really that expensive? Are there things in your daily life, Netflix, cable, a cup of Starbucks coffee, does any of that add up to where you could go, well, let me look at things differently and how I spend my money? This is an opportunity when you put a cost of $3.19 per day, put it on a credit card, pay off the credit card in the returns in a mix. Take some of your hard-earned money that's not working for you, as Attila Hevesi said, if your money's not making money for you, you're going to work till you die. And every day that goes by that you've got $5,000 or $10,000 that's not working is losing 14 to 15, if not more, per year. I mean, and recap. Take your money. It's 100% unattended in your sleep. I'm going to show you an example because I goofed it up and did it out of sequence. Right? Again, this is not pushing you to make any decisions. This is enlightening you to look at things through a different lens with opportunity that generally to this magnitude does not exist anywhere else.
Well, you said it right here at the end. If you use this system, it could change your financial life. I've had people tell me, you've changed you've changed my retirement.
Yep.
You've saved my retirement, you know. And, and I mean, I don't know of any other system that literally just cranks out money. You know what I mean?
Just before we
And
started
makes
on
it
today's
easy.
call, just before we started on today's call, I had a conversation. Somebody had heard about it through Crypto Casey, called me and said, "So tell me about this thing because my 401k is now a 4K." Right? So
And we're in uncharted waters here, mind you.
it's
For
never
3
seen an
years,
up
we've been
market.
in a down market. When
Yep.
this market turns up, even I know we're going to do better than when it was going down, but I don't know how much better. I
And
think
again, right? Again,
we're
there's no
I'm
guarantee.
excited. I'm excited for
Right.
when
Me
this
too.
market turns
Again,
up.
there's no guarantees, but take cold hard fact and analyze your finances, your personal life, and your ability to make money in opportunities that generally don't exist, right? You work all day, you spend do you know why they call it? Do you realize it's true that the matrix, you know why it's called a job? Everybody's heard this, but they don't know the origin of it. It's called just over broke. That's a matrix
Really?
acronym that was created so that you work until you die.
Come on, you made that up. You had to
I
make
did not. I promise you, I did not. I did not.
just over
Now,
broke.
Mr. Barsano, I'm gonna even surprise you.
Edward, wait,
Yes, sir.
wait. On
You're
that
already surprising me.
on that slide you just had up, people need
Yes.
to realize that even if they cut it in half,
Oh, right.
that is way, way, way beyond what traditional finance would give you. If these numbers Ed
Oh,
came
yeah.
back with at 50%, you're still way light years ahead of what you would find anywhere in traditional finance, which, as you all know, is called TradFi. Now, on the other end of the spectrum is what Edward is about to show you now. What if it's a little bit more? Okay, or a lot more. So take now show your GoBabyTrade that's in simulation.
Thanks for keeping me straight again, young man.
Yeah.
All right. So I get excited about this because it's true. All right. So where is bear with me a second. Let me find my trader.
Well, while you're looking for that,
Yep.
I like to talk. Over the years, I've heard every negative thing you can think of over the years. If that was real, there'd be no stock market. If that was real, then everybody would already have it, all that kind of stuff. Ask anyone, because everywhere I go, I take a survey. If I'm at a UPS store, at returning an Amazon item, right? Amazon's so great, when it comes to returns, they make it so easy. You walk in there to do a return, and as I'm walking up to the teller, I'll just throw something out like, "So, how's your crypto doing?" Just to, it sounds crazy, right? And you'd be surprised how many people don't even know what I'm talking about. They'll say stuff like, "What's a crypto?" And they're just, I mean, or I got to read more about it, more up. I mean, I don't know where they're going to read up on it. That's going to educate them at all.
You can listen to Crypto Casey.
Other than that, right? They'll learn a lot, but that's where the auto trader comes in,
Right.
where you don't have to know all that. You just have to know how to just look at it.
Yeah.
Really, that's all you do is look at it. That's all you have to do is just
Well,
look at it.
look, in the crypto market, there are two buckets of people. Well, three. People that don't participate in it because they don't know about it, which is what we're trying to do, is help educate and give people more decisions. There are buy and holders, which you talked about earlier, right? Right. And if you've been a buy and holder of crypto positions, although you're still going to be making money in the long term, in the last 3 years, you got to think crypto is horrible. And then the third
Oh,
is,
yeah.
is anybody that has access to a trader, say a trader, the trader, because this is the only one that exists, that you can be a trader with no knowledge, no time. Could you imagine how many ulcers you'd have if you had to sit in front of 27 screens and try and figure this out? Right? So
Yeah, I
there,
wouldn't go down that path of trying to create it
right.
or
And
anything
guess
like
what? You
that.
can learn all you want to learn, and you might be right 50% of the time. Where this, from it, so I talked about the clean data and the smarts of the AI that keeps making the entire system smarter and smarter by the day. Why not make money in your sleep? That's so let me focus on this. So what I did was I took March's highest trade counts. And you can see Bonk, Ondo, Pepe, and Whiff. Look familiar?
Yep, my
I
favorite. Yeah.
started this simulation March 25th. And you see, you couldn't hear it, but while we were presenting a little while ago, it popped up and Pepe sold for a profit, right? So one of the cutesy things that you put in it was if you leave it open and if you leave your trader open and you leave your computer on and turn your volume up, every time it takes a profit, it sounds like a cash register. So we'll get rid of that. And you can see, look, we started it at 2 o'clock. At 2:20, Pepe took that profit. Okay. But look at this. Today, and the market over the last 3 days has been up consistently. But it literally, as I talked about this thing, eats volatility and doesn't miss a bite. Over the last, it's not even a month. It'll be a month on Friday. It's taken 60, let's just say, round that up. Okay. 6,500. Let's round it down. $6,500. If it did that over the next 12 months, you're at 65% return on your money in your sleep. That's paid for your trader.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, the amount of money that it can make is it's just
Well,
I don't know what to say because people say, how much am I going to make? And it's like, I mean, you can make 100%. I mean, last February, 1 year ago, February, people's accounts jumped 100% in
in 1
value
month.
in 1 month. So
Mhm.
it's there's no way to know, and it's just let it take what it's going to take, and you'll get like all of us. You'll just say, hey, whatever it took, and that's it. I don't worry about it. You can't predict what's going to happen. If you looked at the coin market cap, you see those straight lines where it went straight up. I mean, tomorrow or an hour from now, any of these coins can literally go up 100%.
Well, look what
Like
it's
on
done
January 27th, ACH went from 2 cents or 1.5 cents to 5 cents.
in a day.
Yeah, in a day. I mean, how do you get that's over what is that, 200% return?
Yep,
I
in a
mean,
day.
in a day.
So yeah, I wanted to surprise you with this because to show the power of the research, not you sweating over the research, but the power of what I call the $1 billion report. All I did was take what your report said to do and look, right? Today it's bought a whole bunch of stuff, but look what's happened over the last couple of days. 3 days ago, it took $700. I mean, look at that. All it does, and look at the times, right?
This can't be real what you're showing there. You probably made all that up.
I did. I just ginned it up just before, right? 5 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, at 7:47 I was up, but so let's go to the next day.
No, let me explain, everybody. I was joking there. He
Right.
actually he could never do that. He couldn't fake anything. This is all
There is no way to fake this, right?
fake.
109 in the morning, 5:25 in the morning, 6:54 in the morning. Look, we get excited about it. I want to
If
say
I was starting a trader right now, those are perfectly the 4 coins. I mean,
well,
really.
not to disrespect what you made almost $1 million on in the last 3 years. I just want people to know the power that exists in the research that you're giving them for free. and if they choose to implement it, what it does. What I started to say was I get very excited. We're all very excited for various reasons, but the top reason is this thing works and it makes money. It just grinds out money, and you don't even have to think about it. You don't have to pay the employees, like Russ was saying. He's had 3 businesses in his life, and the hardest thing to do is to get people running in the same direction and showing up for work. You don't have to worry about any of this.
One question that we didn't answer, Sandeep had a question, Ed. This is for you. He says, is this a new version of the trader? Because I do not see that field that says max funds to live trade with in my trader. Are you planning to roll out this feature in the new release? I don't know there's no new release really. You just add
Oh,
on
what does that mean? Max funds.
to live trade with on the
Where is it?
on the screen where it says go to your menu
I
and
think
go
it's under edit strategies. I'm looking at
no
my
no,
trader.
it's not strategies, it's
Do you want to bring it up,
yeah,
Edward?
Yeah, I'm looking.
bring up your
Max
trader. You just
funds
had your trader up. Bring it up.
Okay. All right, bear with me.
live. I can't think of where that would be.
Select currencies. Select currencies. It's under that screen.
Okay, so let me do that live standby. Let me
Or edit strategy.
well, I
That's
thought
the
it was
thing
edit
too.
strategy, but maybe
No,
it's not. So
no, it's select currencies, guys. Trust me.
all right, so there you go.
All
So,
right.
oops. Select currencies.
This takes about 10 seconds to come up.
I know. I've tried to whittle that time down, but it brings up a lot of data. All right, go to the very bottom of the screen.
No, that's not what he means. What he means is up top.
Yeah, it normally shows up here, I think.
Normally it's up here. Like mine does show here max funds to live trade with. What he's saying is his is like Edwards, where it's not showing it.
Is he paper trading maybe?
I don't know. Sandeep, are you paper trading? Why don't you type it in the chat? If he's paper trading, it won't show it, obviously, right?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
But yeah, you have your USDC, you have your cash. You have to type your password to unlock that.
Yep. And
No,
just
this isn't where it would be. It's on the screen you were just on. What you have is your like USDC cash, and then it subtracts out your cash, your reserve money, I mean your saved profits. And then it subtracts the difference and it says max funds to trade with.
Yeah, he says, he just answered, he says, I am live trading and I saw this option in another trader you showed previously.
Right. So it just takes your cash and then it subtracts out your saved profits so that it doesn't use it. And then the result is the max funds that it has available. So that's what it is.
Aha.
yeah, but maybe you should reach out to you and you can take a look at his account and see if there's something that's causing it not to show.
I'm going to go to mine and see if it shows in
Oh,
mine.
is yours set to 0?
Uh,
Yeah. If it's set to 0, that means he doesn't have any funds to trade with. Maybe he should be sharing his screen. So then we know exactly what he's talking about.
Huh. Now I'm trying to log into my screen and it's not coming up.
No, it's up.
No, that's Edwards.
Yep. And actually, I need to give you, if you're going to share yours, Attila, I'm going to give you co-host. So
I think because we're on a Zoom, it's coming up real slow. I'm just trying to, I got to log in. Okay, here we go. I'm in 5 seconds. I'll be in.
Okay, let's take a look.
Sandeep says, yeah, that's real. My trader made profits yesterday too. Yeah, we're not, everything's transparent here.
Okay, select currencies. I'm going to take a look and then I'll share the screen.
Do, 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 do.
Yep.
Answer in the form of a question.
Max funds to live trade with. Okay, yeah, it shows on mine. Okay, hold on a second then. Let me go
What is?
up here. Let's go here. Do I have screen
You do.
sharing ability,
Sharing.
Edward?
You can see everybody. We're pretty transparent.
Yep, you're sharing.
Okay. All right, so I think that's my GoBabyTrade. Can you see it now?
Can
We
see
see
it.
it now.
Yep,
Perfect.
there you go.
So you have your account value, but then, I don't care about the account value really. You have your profits saved, your cash remaining, and then your max funds to live trade with 10,000.
Yeah, see,
You have it limited to, I think you have your, if you go to the menu
yeah,
and go to exchange preferences up at the top there. And now scroll to the bottom of that, on the bottom right. All the way down.
that's
You,
as far as I could go.
all right, so 1172. I just wanted to see if you were limiting, you're saying use all your funds. So go back one, back the screen, top left.
Which screen?
Yeah, just go back,
Yeah,
hit the
just
back
go
button.
back one screen. Up higher. Yeah, there. And so max account value. So max funds to live trade with. Oh, scroll down a little bit. And you have, well, here, you have this much to trade with right now. Scroll back up a little so we can see the numbers. No, yeah. I
Right now,
think you,
I'm actually trading just AIOZ because it's done very well for me. The other ones I want to sell out of, so I've unchecked allow buy, as you could see.
so you're not buying them, but you're allowing them to sell profitably.
That's right.
So yeah, so of the 10,472, yeah, I don't see a minus a number here. I'm not really sure how all that works. We do debug right here a lot and change these numbers. So I can't say exactly. I mean, we'd be better off looking at Sandeep's screen.
Yeah. Why don't you
You can shoot me an email, Sandeep, to support@gobabytrade.com, and I will then I can look at your account
yeah,
directly.
that should be looked at individually as per each person, probably. Yeah. All right,
Okay.
guys. Well, listen, this was excellent. We had some really good questions today. You should all know we are here. Let me stop the screen share. We
Sorry,
are here
I'll replace it.
every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. You're free to join us as often as you'd like, invite friends, but please understand, this is really not like a customer support call. We don't mind a few questions here and there. Obviously, Sandeep, your question was pertaining to your trader, and I get that. We had several other questions that come in sometimes every week that are more like customer support questions, and that's why we post them. The intention of this Zoom is to educate and to give you the features and benefits of the robotic crypto trader for those that are unaware of it and they've never seen a demo, they've never seen how it works, they've never met Ed Barsano, they've never heard a presentation, they want to know what's up with this crypto Casey's talking about it, I want to see what the deal is. That's what this presentation is meant to fill the need for. But you have both of the customer support emails. You could email us anytime. We're very quick to answer and we'll get you all squared away. Edward, any parting words?
I do, yes. I just posted, in case anybody that's new, that is not a long-term rabid follower of Crypto Casey. I just posted. She did back in I don't know, probably 2 or 3 months ago now. She did an entire video on the trader, talking about her experience, talking about the how it compares what's in the marketplace, which I just posted. So the YouTube video is up. But other than that, no, thank you for tolerating the excited rants about what we think of this trader. Thank you for devoting 2 hours and 20 minutes of your extraordinarily valuable time. I hope you learned something. I hope you take something away from this. You can use the same registration link that you joined today to join us in the future. If you missed it last week, Casey was live with us her second time, which is a rarity. She's only been live out in the wild 3 times total in the last 4 years. So if you missed that, let us know. Send us a note. We'll send you a recording of that. But again, totally transparent. Anything you want to know. Education, knowledge is power. Learn as much as you can. Use the tools that we've shown you at no cost to you. Attila, always great to see you. Thank you so much.
Can I give before you sign off?
Oh no, I'm not going to sign off. I was just saying my piece of the puzzle. As always, Mr. Barsano, your brilliance is amazing. Thank you again for the opportunity for my family to prosper from your hard work. And I yield the floor to Congressman Barsano.
No, Congressman Attila. Oh, okay. All right. Well, everybody, when you always say in the beginning marital advice.
Yeah, right.
So I've been married 43 years, and what I always say is you either have to be all in or all out. Either you're in this marriage or you're not, And I found the easiest way to do that is to just do it her way. You want her to be happy anyways, right?
That's great. That's great. All right, with those wise parting words, we'll see you next week. Thanks again for joining. You have the link to partake and buy the license should you wish to take advantage of that special pricing, and we're here for you if you need us. So thank you again, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you, everybody. Cheers.
Bye-bye.